Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool ecosystem and community. Yesterday, we had an update about some client teams getting merge ready, and an update from Bosi about the smoothing pool, and Marceau was teasing some big buys that were coming in. Today, we've got a really jam-packed episode for you because there's just so much happening. The first thing is that there was an announcement made by the team today about a bounty paid out on a bug bounty to immunify at a medium level. So the first thing the team says is that the funds and protocol are perfectly safe. Nothing's gone wrong with that, but there are some issues that can happen in terms of causing issues to node operators and to the exploiter themselves. So it's not high consequence necessarily in the short term. So the bug will be patched in the next release, which will most likely be in Q4 of this year. Now, Langers goes on to say that the bug submission was very high quality, and because of that, they paid double the usual amount of the medium payout, and they really the team's really happy that this is actually happening, because the bounty is supposed to work this way by white hat hackers getting in touch and providing details of what the potential exploits could be and making sure that we get it fixed before any damage can happen. And this is actually a really good thing, even though people might be worried that there's some potential problem that could happen. The team's been really vague about it, and they said that they'll do a full debrief once everything is patched and done, which will be in a few months' time. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with that regard, but it's definitely something to track in the following months to come. Next, we have this comment from Jasper that happened last night. That Nimbus update is out, so that means all the client teams for the consensus and the execution layer are now up to date and ready for the merge. The geth update had some issues, so if you are running geth, please do not update your geth just yet. Wait for the fixed version to come out. I've seen a few people saying that their database has been corrupted by the new geth update, so please hold off on that until there's an update that comes out. But this might be a perfect time for you to change from geth to a different client. I personally switched to Besu recently, and it's been working really nicely for me, so it might be time for you to think about doing something like that as well, because geth has a super majority, and if this had happened after the merge, then a lot of people would not be able to attest or propose blocks as they came up. So maybe this is a good time for you to switch. Next, we have this comment by Javalasers about having rETH or staking and what the tax implications of that are. It was a really good discussion that came up with a really interesting way of thinking about it. But the way I think about it is that if you are a long-time ETH holder and your cost basis is fairly low, like in the triple digits or even the double digits or even in the single digits, it might be better for you to stake yourself and get rewards on that instead of converting it to rETH, because changing from ETH to rETH might be seen as a taxable event depending on what jurisdiction you're in. Whereas if you are buying now, or if you have a cost basis that's higher than the price now, it might be worth to change all your ETH into rETH, because either you can harvest a tax loss or you can go straight into a yield bearing asset without having to go into ETH at all. So there's some really good answers that came up here, but Valdorf shared this formula here about whether you'd be better off as a ETH staker or as a rETH holder, and when you add the RPL value accrual and RPL rewards on top of that, it seems like a no-brainer to be a node operator, which is why I'm a node operator. Next, we have this information from Joe about MEV Boost being added to the 1.6 Smart Node Stack version 1.6. So the software will be included. However, as a default, it will be switched off. So you will not be using any MEV Boost or Flashbots technology, even though the framework for it will be in your Smart Node Stack. Now, what does this mean for you? This means that you're not going to be censoring any blocks as after the merge. If you have 1.6, which you have to have for the merge. What this also does mean, though, is that you can switch it on. So for some reason, if you're worried about sanctions, OFAC, or any of that kind of stuff, you can toggle on MEV Boost and you can get extra rewards, but also you can be like compliant with some imaginary standard that you might have, because it seems like the vast majority of stakers seem to think that we won't be able to be sanctioned. However, I am not a lawyer, so please don't take my advice on that matter. If you want to be safe, turn it off. In the next few weeks or months, there should be other relays that will come out, and at that point the toggle switch will be removed, but for now it will be there. So that's really interesting stance that the Rocket Pool team is taking, which is that it'll be off by default, but it's up to you if you want to turn it on or not. So that's really interesting. The next thing is this comment from a person called Callan on Wintermute, who left a message in general saying, "Hey guys, is there anyone from the team I can get in contact with, please?" And he tags the Rocket Pool core team, and Maverick replied by saying, "Yeah, flick me a DM." So this might seem like something like not consequential, but trading was really excited about this and reacted very strongly to this by saying, what is Wintermute, what's going on, what's happening? So basically Wintermute is a market maker, and it's their job to provide liquidity for trading pairs using tokens that they either buy on the market or get from the team that has the tokens. And what this usually signals is one of two things. Well, maybe more things, but this is what I think. Is either they want to pitch some kind of liquidity program to the Rocket Pool team to increase liquidity, or the second thing is that they might be trying to position Rocket Pool to be listed on centralized exchanges. Now, the community really responded strongly to this and trying to see what was happening with it. But one comment by Petris that came way later, a few hours later, was really, really interesting. So the DAO for Element Phi had the post in April, and Wintermute got in touch with them, and it says market make across DeFi aggregators such as 1inch, Paraswap, Matcha, etc. At the moment, almost all of the RPL liquidity is based on Uniswap. So by adding more liquidity, it would really help Chainlink oracles and stuff like that getting set up for the RPL token. Also, it makes DeFi integration easier across different platforms as well. So it says Wintermute also commits to the go-to-market maker for any over-the-counter institutional flow, providing competitive prices for tickets starting from $100,000 and beyond. So they're definitely working with people who have a big amount of money that can move markets. And it says borrowed ELFI, so that's the token that they were talking to about in this DAO proposal. Borrowed ELFI will be used strictly for market making purposes, no governance, voting, farming, etc. Provided liquid markets across all tier 1 CeFi exchanges. So that consists of Binance, Huobi, OKX, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Crypto.com, Binance US, and a few smaller ones. So this is the thing that has had the community very, very, very excited, is that this could potentially lead to the RPL token being listed on centralized exchanges, which we all know can lead to very positive price movements. It's not guaranteed at the moment that this is going to happen, but if it was going to happen, this is the first step that would happen in that process. So this is definitely something to keep a close eye on going forward, because it could potentially be a really big deal. Next we have this comment from Superphiz, who said, I will retweet every home staking node, period. So if you go to Superphiz's Twitter, he started this message today about his staking nodes and just sharing with people about how easy it is to stake. So he set up this hashtag called stake from home and shared just pictures of people's NUCs and their computers and their setups, and it was really great to see that so many people are staking from their home using relatively simple hardware. So this is my NUC that I'm using to stake. It's got a Rocket Pool sticker on it from that I was sent to by Bossy. So it says my stake from home NUC is a Rocket Pool rocket ship. So this is what I'm going to use to take me to the moon. But it was a really great project, and I think a lot of people shared really great messages with Superphiz today about how they could possibly start staking as well. So Rocket Pool is the most amazing staking service there is. It makes staking 3 times easier than solo staking, and I don't think there's any other node operation system out there that's as easy to set up and get running as Rocket Pool is. On top of that, the documentation is crystal clear. Even I mentioned yesterday or the day before about someone who's a command line interface noob was able to set it up myself, and the support channel on Discord is phenomenal. There's some people in there who are just truly incredible, who do the work there that help everyone from novices to experts to make sure everything's running smoothly. So if you're interested in staking from home, Rocket Pool is definitely the way for you to go. And finally, we had this, I mentioned this a couple of times about the Bankbull Bullcast. So on September 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I think, I'll check and confirm those dates with you. There's going to be a Bankless episode, a live broadcast with Marceau and Ken from the Rocket Pool community, talking about Rocket Pool, the protocol, but more about Rocket Pool and rETH as tokens and value accrual and basically all the bullishness that goes in with that. Today we had a dry run on the Rocket Pool Discord where Ken and Marceau were interviewed by Evan, and it was kind of following the same structure that the interview with Bankless will do, and it was really, really wonderful. It was really wonderful. It was really exciting. So there's going to be a recording made available of this soon, but it'll only be shared on the Rocket Pool Discord for feedback purposes, so we can get the message as clear as possible for the community as a whole. We don't want to steal the thunder of the Bankless episode next week. So yeah, there are a bunch of things in today's Rocket Fuel that is incredibly bullish, and a lot of people have been saying that we don't own enough RPL token after the end of today. But as always, this is not financial advice, and I don't want you to be making investments based on what I'm saying here. This is just an educational channel, as other YouTubers like to say. But this video's gone really long already, so I'm not going to take up more of your time. I'll be stopping it here, and I'll see you all tomorrow.